Hello and welcome to Samtex Academy. I am Samuel. Today we're talking about resultant of more than two vectors. The other times in our other previous videos, we talked about how you find resultant of what? A vector by using vectorial method to what? Add them. Now, in the case whereby you have more than two vectors, how do we do that? Now, in this process, what do you do? Suppose you have vectors. This is a vector f1, this is a vector f2, and this is a vector f3. Implying that particular angle theta 3, theta 2, and theta 1. How do you resolve that? First of all, you resolve, to get the resultant of these three vectors, you resolve each of these vectors or forces to their vertical and what? Horizontal components. First of all, you resolve to x component, and then resolve to y component, that is what? Vertical component. After resolving each vector, you remember that each of them has what? Both vertical component and what? Horizontal component. After resolving each of them, you add each and every one of them to the what? X. All the vertical components you add them, all the horizontal components add them. Then you represent each of these vertical component and horizontal component in a perpendicular direction. This is it. You represent it in the form of a right angle triangle. This is your what? X component, y component, and this is your x component. And then you find what? The resultant. By saying that r is equal to r squared is equal to x squared plus what? Y squared. Therefore r is equal to what? Square root of x squared plus y squared. Now, to get the direction of these three angles, three forces, what do? You say that tan theta is equal to opposite over what? Adjacent. This is how to what? Get the direction of this what? The three forces. Now, let's look at an example. Now, given from this example, they say calculate the resultant of five component forces of value 10 Newton, 12 Newton, 16 Newton, 20 Newton, 15 Newton, acting on what? An object at acting on what? An object of what? At 0, as shown below. This is 15, 16, 20, 12, and 10 Newton. They say which what? Find the resultant of what? This force. Remember the one we saw the other time was what? Resultant of what? Two forces. Whereby we use the parallelogram method and the triangle method to find the resultant. But this time around, they are what? More than two. So this is the example. Now in this case, they say, like I said earlier, you do what? You get the result each of these forces to their what? Vertical horizontal component and what? Vertical component. Now look at it. 20. Okay, let's add the 10. This is your 10. Now, if you resolve this 10 to the horizontal component and to the vertical component, remember, if you want to resolve to horizontal component is what? Cos theta. If you want to resolve to vertical component is what? Sin theta. So, now, at this point now, this is what? Horizontal. It doesn't have any angle. So, the theta there is what? 0. If you press the calculator, 10 plus 0 will give you what? 10. If you resolve it to the vertical component, 10 times 0 will give you what? 0. You go to the next one, 12. 12 to the horizontal is what? 50. Remember, the angle you are taking is to the what? To the horizontal, not to the what? Vertical. We'll see come to that. Now, if you resolve this 12 to the horizontal and vertical component, it will give you 12 plus 50 and 12 times what? 50. It gives you 9.19 and 7.71. And then another thing you have to consider is that from your graph or from your xy coordinates, for vertical component, the bottom is what? From this point to the down is what? Negative. While from here to the top is what? Positive. So if you are taking your vectors or your forces, you need to know where to put minus and plus. Now, looking at this, look at the next one, 20. If you look at this, 20 to the x direction is what? Negative, because from here to here for x direction is what? is positive. Y from there to here is what? Negative for horizontal, for the horizontal component. So that's why it's minus 20 cos 40. Now for the vertical component, it is what? Up. Remember I said that from this point to the upward is what? Positive. Y from there downward is what? Negative. That's why it's what? Positive there. Now if you look at 16 for the vertical, for the horizontal component, it doesn't have any particular size between the vertical and the basic, so it doesn't have any sign. But to the vertical component, 16 is what? Downward. That's why it's what? Negative. And the value gave you what? Now if you complete each of all these things, the sum of all these values will give you what? 9.89. And the sum of all the horizontal component will give you minus 6.95. Now, the next thing you have to do is to represent this in the vertical and the horizontal direction. What do I mean? Your x is what? 9.89 Newton, and it is what? Positive. So remember, it is positive, so it goes in direction, and it's what? 9.89. And then your y is what? Minus 6.95. Since it is minus, it means what? It's going downward. Remember I told you that for vertical component, from this point upward is what? Positive, and then from this point down is what? Negative. But your value is what? Negative. So it has the what? Come down. And when it comes down, it is what? 6.95. Now, how do you get the resultant? You say R is equal to R squared is equal to 6.95 squared plus 9.89 squared. Your R is equal to square root of. If you take this, the square root of all this will give you 12.09 Newton. That is what? The resultant what? Force of all these what? 5 forces. Now how do you get the direction? You say that theta is equal to y over what? X. Therefore tan theta, now tan theta is what? Y over what? X. And this is your y and this is your x. So if you break it down, tan inverse, take tan to this side, then tan inverse of 0.7027, and tan inverse will give you, theta will give you 35.09. Approximately theta is what? 35 degrees. Now 12.09 is your what? The result, the magnitude of the what? The 5 vectors. The resultant vector, and then the theta is what? The direction of the vectors. Now in this video you have seen how you can get the resultant of vectors that are what? More than 2. And this is the method or procedure of getting this resultant vector. If this video is helpful to you, do well to like, subscribe and share. Thank you and God bless you.